Welcome to the Silhouette Podcast, episode 5, I think. And today we're going to be talking about how Blizzard sucks.
Bro, do that. You know what? No, we're doing that shit over. I'm gonna do it.
What do you mean?
That was not it.
I mean, that wasn't it.
That was not it.
Talk about Blizzard, bitch.
You gotta have more enthusiasm. You know what? Fine, bro. Alright, fine. Start off with what the fuck is wrong with Blizzard?
A lot. Too much, actually.
Like, goddamn. Have you read the fucking lawsuit report?
I know about a little bit. I know, stuff that happened made, I'm pretty sure one of the staff workers killed themselves. There's a lot of sexual harassment. A lot of fucked up shit. Like, it's actually insane what's going on there.
Holy shit. Alright, we're going to get to the first lawsuit in a bit, but they've actually been hit with a second lawsuit.
Another one.
And this one is talking about false advertisement.
What they do.
I'm trying to read.
He's reading.
They've been issuing materially false and not advertisements, false statements. They're being sued for releasing false statements on the first lawsuit. Because I remember, they're talking about all the allegations, and one of them came out and was all like, "This is unholy true. Nothing like this ever happened at Blizzard."
Yeah.
All right. And the person who was saying this only worked there for 6 months, despite the allegations apparently happening over the course of like a couple years. And it's fucking crazy. But also, what's his name stepped down and just left the company. The fucking president of Blizzard.
I just left. He dipped.
He did. He left.
Smart.
He left. And he said he wants to go pursue different opportunities. And I mean, odd time to leave. Either he got fired by the higher ups, or he's like, this shit's going down in flames. I gotta jump ship.
Pretty sure he
got
was
out
sleeping.
of there.
He was evacuating.
But I think this may be a jump, but I think it's a minor jump. I think since he left, those allegations are. I think those allegations are kind of true, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I think they all have to be. Maybe some might be over exaggerated a little bit, but I think they're all true for the most part.
It explains some of the shit that's going on. Like, what's the point? Is that the fucking open alcohol policy, whatever, where they can drink on the job, and apparently they've been like drunk a lot in the fucking frat parties or whatever. What's the fuck they call it? Cube crawl? Don't even know what the fuck a cube crawl is.
I think it's like flirting with female workers or some shit. I think that's how it was described.
It's crawling like a
child. Like sexual harassment.
Under a... What the fuck?
They be crawling, bro.
They be crawling around the fucking cubicles to hit on women.
Yeah, that's weird. Why is that even the fact that's a term, that means multiple people have cube crawled.
It's because it's like what they said, like a frat boy environment,
Very weird.
What the fuck that means? And I'm just like, damn. Like, can you imagine them being drunk like constantly makes sense for like the shit that they've been doing in their video games recently? Because I don't know what the fuck is going on. I can't speak for WoW. I've never played WoW, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't ever want to play WoW now. But I have played Overwatch, and Overwatch has pissed me off more times than it's made me happy.
Yeah, they just can't balance stuff. Elon Musk says funny meme. Let's make character overpowered.
What's his name? The dude who's been keeping Overwatch straight, Kaplan, has been gone.
Oh, yeah, so it's just down the hole from here.
Overwatch is just... I want to say Overwatch is not going to be good. I want to say that.
I think it's always been dying.
Overwatch fanboys. It's not going to die.
There's not enough, though. There's, the fan base has... you could check. The fan base has been fleeting. Ever since, in my opinion, Overwatch 2 was announced, since that's when they stopped doing any other heroes. Which is the shittiest idea, bro.
I think the moment... Because when Overwatch 2 drops, they're going to bring in 8 heroes. And these 8 heroes, I swear to God, aren't going to be anything innovative. They're not going to be crazy. Yeah. Hell, I bet you some of them might even be basically slightly better version of the original heroes.
Probably.
But since it's just something different and new, people are going to be like, oh my, this is amazing. Because they haven't gotten shit in a year and a half now.
Yeah, but they have to pay for it. You know that.
Bro, you have to think about this though. This isn't just a Blizzard problem. This is a game problem. Okay, people, if you take stuff away from them, you sap it away, and then you give it to them a year later, they go fucking crazy. They're like, oh my god, the wait is forever. I cannot wait. But you may be right.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, this is what I think is gonna happen with Overwatch 2. It's gonna come out. People are going to be hyped for like a week, maybe a month at most, and then the game's going to die again. Unless the content they drop is insane. But still, one, you have to pay for it. So, I know a lot of fucking little kids play Overwatch. So, that's a problem. They have to bother their mommies for like $20 or some shit. Two, I doubt the PvE is going to be good because the whole thing with Overwatch 2 is they're making like a campaign joint. But their PvE really, I mean, some can be cool, but I'm pretty sure it's just going to be really generic PvE. So I don't think it's going to be good. But I digress.
Bro. Overwatch. The concept of Overwatch 2 to me seems unnecessary. I feel like everything they're adding in that can be an update. Because I am of the opinion that some games, just because they do fucking amazing, don't need a sequel if you can add on to the original, Like, DLC advance. And it depends on, if I want a sequel to a game, you gotta expand on that shit, like, massively, okay? Or everything has to be drastically different.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll take the Persona example, All those Persona games have the same gameplay, essentially, down to the basics, but their stories and characters are always seemingly somehow interlinked and yet drastically different. You get a different experience from each Persona game.
Yeah, and I mean,
some Call of Duty games do that, and some Battlefield games do that. They can give you different experiences, and that's what I look for in a sequel. But in Overwatch 2, first off, the story mode's not going to give me the different experience. The story mode should have been in there to begin with, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it was so much, all the lore videos they would drop and shit.
Because I don't like shit where the lore is out of the game. I fucking hated that about Destiny, where I have to go somewhere else to understand what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, lore just doesn't exist.
And so, Overwatch 2 story mode, that should have been in the begin with. And, 8 new heroes? Wow, okay, that's a... If they're really unique and cool, that's cool. I don't think it's worth the money because every other hero's have kind of been free.
Imagine how broken they're gonna be. Like, they're gonna throw off the balance, and the game's gonna be I think the game's gonna be even more unbalanced because Overwatch is a very unbalanced game, and they're gonna release all these characters, and it's gonna unbalance everything even more, and the game's gonna be a mess.
Overwatch is every decision to me. What they make an Overwatch. I am not a full-on ranked player, okay? But I do get tired of when a character I like to play gets nerfed all around because of ranked play. Like how they nerfed Brig because she was on too many winning teams. I didn't think she was that bad, but maybe I'm just not a god tier ranked player.
Yeah, it's crazy when they literally took Brig and they made her useless. Right now, she is a useless character.
I don't know. I remember they got her, they nerfed her, then they brought her back up, and then they nerfed her again. And I was just tired. And, I was just tired of playing Overwatch in general, because Overwatch just made everybody that we played with get mad. And they get mad at each other. Mm-hmm. And there's always somebody blaming somebody else. And then every time when they're talking about my fucking rank, and they're like, why don't you solo queue? I didn't buy Overwatch to fucking solo queue.
Yeah, I don't play team games to solo queue.
Alright.
I'm not going to solo queue in Siege. I'm not going to solo queue in Apex. None of that shit.
For real. That's fucking depressing to me.
Yeah,
I don't want to play a goddamn team game.
Without my team.
You see that little invite friends button. And just because you decide to fucking go and no life and get yourself to goddamn diamond by yourself, I'm not going to do that. I don't enjoy it. I play it to play it with my friends.
Mm-hmm. Team games are there for your teammates. It's crazy.
God. Yeah. Fucking. Speaking of fucking rank shit, we can jump into the fucking Rainbow Six goddamn motherfucking new game.
Extraction, the doo-doo game. Stinky.
Which is just that fucking... I didn't even get to play that fucking game mode it's based off of.
Isn't it a $60 game?
Yeah, it's a fucking $60 game.
Absurd.
And there's no new heroes in it either.
Should be
literally none.
$20 at most.
I thought they would have at least added like 2 new ones. None. There's less heroes than Rainbow Six Siege, and they're all the same heroes from that game.
Nice. Very nice.
Rainbow Six Extraction. And I'm like, Rainbow had something going on. Rainbow Six Siege, I don't play it much. I don't. But I think that's a good quality game.
Yes, I still think it's a good game.
The decisions they make piss me off, but the game is good. You can have fun if your teams don't piss you off.
True.
And it's one of those games that I'm happy has lasted this long, because it is a game with longevity, because you can keep going back to it. And somebody we know was fucking talking about how he didn't like the fact that Rainbow Six Siege kept adding new operators.
But somebody said that.
And I don't think you were there, but it was like, oh yeah, you just got off.
Was that the man who throws?
No.
Oh.
No, it's the man who plays Abana.
Ah.
And we were talking about it, and he was talking about how he didn't like how they kept releasing new operators. And his example was, what about Goyo? No one plays Goyo, they suck. Okay, yeah, he sucks. And I was like, people after him come out, and I enjoy him. But, people play Goyo still. Some people like playing Goyo.
Yeah, that's...
If they just stop making new operators, then that's what changes up the game. But what they need to do more is add new maps as well, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got was it a new map that we got, or the last time we played, was that a rework?
I think it was, the problem is, the whole season was they just kept doing reworks.
Yeah, they brought back a skyscraper as a rework. They don't ever add new maps, and I don't understand why. I think it'd be really good to drop the operators with a new map each time, because I think they did that before, when Nomad and Cade came out, wasn't the map...
They would always do new maps. The reason why they were doing reworks is because, the whole thing was, I don't know if it was, Operation Health or something, but it was something where they were just yeah, these maps aren't as good as they could be, I guess. So which is a good idea, but they should have reworked and made a new map. Which maybe that's too much to ask, but I feel like that would have been that would have been whoa, they changed this map and there's a new map. Maybe it's too much to ask, but they get fucking 3 months to do it, so I don't know.
I want to say it's something different, but I feel like Rainbow Six has less maps than Call of Duty, and you can say, oh well, Call of Duty maps are much more simple.
I think it's roughly.
Yeah,
the same.
I guess so. Yeah, but I mean, when I fucking, well, at least how it used to be, when Black Ops 2 they released the new DLC, you got 4 whole new maps.
Yeah, 4 or 5, something like that. Yeah.
And a zombies map. I'm just asking for one map every it's a 4-month period before a new operator comes out.
I think it's 3. Yeah, I think it's. So I'm not sure.
That's 3 to 4 maps a year, new maps, and then you can stop after maybe 2 to 3 years. All right, a total of 9 to 12 new maps, based off of the additional maps, and then you also start reworking those maps as well.
Yeah.
Now you have a big rotation of maps, and these maps are periodically changing over time still. Because, I mean, we used to play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. I remember when PlayStation released the fucking stats at the end of the year, last year and the year before that.
Yeah, I think that was one of the tops.
Rainbow was my second most played game.
Yeah, I think it was pretty.
And my first it was third. It was third because second was Smite and first was Final Fantasy.
Yeah. I'm not sure what mine was, but I think Final Fantasy might have been up there, Call of Duty and Siege, something like that.
So, yeah. And so we played all this Siege, and, it comes to a point where you're playing the same maps over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember they added the map banning system, and we actually used to talk about how they should add the banned maps.
Yeah.
And now I don't know how I feel about that, because now we get even less map selection because people choose the same shit over and over and over again.
Another thing is it's a mind game. It's the prisoner's dilemma. You need to think, are they going to ban this map, or should I stick for the other map and just trust them to do the other map? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they should show who's voting for whose map, like in Call of Duty. Because no matter which team you're on, you see everyone what their map they're voting for.
Yeah, I think they should rework the map banning.
Either that, or they make it to where when you're choosing the same way like you choose operators, one team gets to choose which map to ban, and another team gets to choose which map to ban, and then you see. Oh, I guess they already do that. But I mean, they should have like the map they chose to ban be blacked out.
Yeah.
That's been a while. Oh no, it's at the same fucking time. You just don't see this vote. So then you vote, and then they vote, and there's no. I need to be in rounds. One round, they ban. Then I get to, now the other team has two maps to choose between. Well, they ban a map.
The problem with that is then the second team just picks the map. The first team just eliminates a map, but then the second team picks the map.
Yeah. I mean, at least that would get rid of the whole we both ban the same map. Or they just need to add the ability to see who's choosing what.
Yeah, what they could do is they could do it to where the team that bans second picks op bans second, because then they got to pick the map, so the other team gets to pick their bans first.
Yeah, they could do that. They could do a lot, but we don't play Rainbow as much anymore. I kind of want to start playing Rainbow again.
That's a fun game. Honestly. I used to be ridiculously good at that game. Now, if I play, I'm gonna be dog shit, but. That's how it is.
Yeah, dude. That's how it is when you don't play a game like that in a while. You get fucking terrible at it.
Yeah. For most games. There's some games where my skill retains, but not Siege.
Yeah. I think the game that I could drop for a whole year and come back and still be good at is, not to brag, but Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at Call of Duty.
I'm really good at Call of Duty.
I can't snipe, I'll admit it. I can't snipe well, but any other fucking gun, I can destroy with. Okay. Although I used to run pistols in Black Ops 2.
Yeah, I was running pistols in Cold War.
But Call of Duty just ain't it anymore. Even the newer ones,
Yeah, Cold War sucks. All the zombies are not
some
good.
people like Cold War. Well, some people. Cold War's an iffy sore subject because the fucking multiplayer when we played was terrible because of the fucking skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah.
That shit was so fucking dumb. Because it didn't even take your overall skill. It would just take how good you did in that fucking match and then drop you on the fucking tryhards the next time.
Alright.
And fucking the story mode pissed me off so much.
They just lied about your choice.
I still talk about it to this day. And the worst part is that it had such good missions sometimes. The fucking Russian embassy mission was amazing.
That one was good.
In that mission, you could do it. There's like 4 different options to do.
That Vietnam one was really good, but yeah, the Russian embassy was probably the best one just because you had multiple ways to do it.
And I like the characters of.
Yeah, I liked pretty much most of them.
Some of those characters you don't really get to see a lot. And there's a scene where they pick between these two characters of who's gonna die. But both those characters you've only seen for, I don't know, maybe a total of like 40 minutes, 30. So I didn't give a shit. And I'll be honest, I just chose the woman.
The thing is also, whoever you pick, it doesn't matter. It's just another bonus thing at the end where it's like,
it doesn't change the outcome.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I hate false choice. And it's not, they do that in a couple of games where they stick these choices in there and they don't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, maybe you get lucky and you get a little extra dialogue. But in the very beginning of Cold War story, you get a choice between dropping this dude off a building or saving him. So you think, if I keep him alive, maybe something good will happen to me later on, or maybe something bad will happen because I left this bad guy alive. And if we kill him, maybe you think either something will be prevented or something, a consequence might happen because of that. That dude is brought up once in the very next mission in a fucking description, not in the mission itself.
Yeah.
And then never spoken of again.
It's because it just didn't matter. He's a throwaway character. They were both throwaway characters.
And you remember the mission where you're a spy in fucking Russia, where you're undercover.
Yeah.
You're talking to that woman, and you have the option to save that dude, and it turns out he betrayed you.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what you do, whether or not you bring him, you save him or not, the girl still dies.
Yeah.
So I was like, what changed? The only thing that changed is that the dude's present in the cutscene. He doesn't even say shit.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. It would have been cool. They could have done a lot more with that.
Yeah, I mean, goddamn. Technically, Borderlands had more impactful choices than fucking Cold War because at least Reese had his mustache gone for the rest of the game.
True. These are facts.
And so I'm constantly reminded that I told that man to get rid of his dumbass mustache.
Bro, I think everybody did. Gonna be real. Fuck that mustache.
They should definitely release like a counter of who chose whether to keep his mustache or not. They might have already had.
Maybe. It's definitely a majority shaved it. No doubt in my mind.
Because Mass Effect Legend Edition released these statistics recently of showing what choices players made.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the majority of players chose to be good guys instead of bad guys.
Yeah, typical.
And also majority of players, me included, chose to just be a soldier, which is lame, and you just use guns instead of superpowers and shit. So I'm actually planning on just making a new character because I realized, wow, I really just made this boring for me.
Yeah, well, once you use a superpower.
Exactly. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me.
There's like no downside.
Yeah. It's just because soldier's like the easiest. If you want to just fucking rush through everything, just play soldier. And nah, I don't. It's not what I live for in Mass Effect. So I have to go do that again. Which sucks because I'm more than halfway through the first game, but it's okay. I'll just make some different choices. Maybe I should be a dick as well.
Yeah, you're fucking
be a
murder
renegade.
people. Renegade.
I love games like those. I love games with choices like that. I just love choice games, even if they're not like story based, like Telltale or shit like that.
Yeah.
I just love when I can see a thing I did impact the world.
I love games that have major branches in the game, or like things where like you accidentally fucking like miss an RPG shot or something, and you just destroy a town or something. Like it's cool. You did that. And now that town's fucking destroyed, and maybe that like causes chaos in the future or some shit. Like that's cool. You did something. You affected the game, and then you could like replay it, and then it's way different. It's a completely different experience. Games like that are perfect. They have replay value. They have entertainment value. They're just great.
The worst thing are the weird one-off choices. Like, here's one. We're going to go back to Persona again. But the choice to sell out your friends and be evil really came, for me, is like really out of left field from what I've seen. You just start laughing and shit. Because they don't give you any options to be sort of evil during the game or be a dick. So it makes no sense for Joker to start acting like that to me. Yeah, if he sold out his friends.
It was really weird. You just became evil out of a whim. You just fucking... I'm evil now. Made no dang sense.
Like, I think it would have been much better if throughout the game you have options that can show you doing shit that would not be good. And the characters or your friends react to that shit, either something positive or negatively.
Oh, dude.
Then we get to that point, it would be more believable.
Now, what would be cool, dude, if you could be like, yo, you're a shithead, and then confidant like a -1. Like, you go negative confidants.
Yeah.
They hate you.
To make, like, your choices when you speak to people more impactful. Because, I mean, if you get that confidant mission, it's gonna go up. You're not gonna fuck up. You can say whatever the fuck you want at that point.
Well, okay, so they didn't have anything where you could, like, be evil, but in Persona 3, if you fucked up a confidant and then you fucked it up, like, you had a chance to reconcile it, but if you fucked that up, then the confidant was gone for the entire game, and I'm pretty sure you couldn't use any of the personas that were linked to that Arcana, and it's really cool.
Yeah. See, they probably removed that because I feel like people probably complained because they said dumb shit, and then
they had it in like the early stages, and then they'd removed it.
All right. See, because I think it'd be cool if when you're dealing with the relation. I hope they do this in Persona 6, where they make the relationships between your character and that more. You have to really think on it.
Yeah. Because
in Persona 5, you just need them stats. You need to be the fucking so charming that if you die, everybody else dies. And then, it's how it is. But I'm like, what if it's not just stats? You know, stats are the entryway to talk to that confidant. And now you have to not fuck up and realize what they like. Because, I mean, they sort of have that because some options give more
points.
More points than others. But you can still hit the max limit, I think, if you don't get all the highest points. But I think I'd like to see if it could be negative and positive, and then your interactions with that character can will change throughout the story because of that. Like, imagine if in Persona 6 there's a negative confidant bar and a positive one, and you can make everyone fucking hate you.
Yeah, like you just want hate your guts.
And you get access to like these dark ass personas and shit.
That'd be cool.
And like there's like what's it called, like we'll just call it like the fucking shadow route. Well, you let your like inner shadow take over.
Oh, that'd be so fucking cool.
And that way, now when you replay the game, you can do a fucking good ass route, a neutral route, and a fucking shadow route. And like you basically make everybody. Maybe you let shadows take over your friends too, or you fucking you just evil ass shit. And maybe it's accidental sometimes. You know, maybe you fucked up, and this person who you could have helped goes full on crazy or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it's like a one-off side quest mission, I think that'd be really cool.
Dude, I wish I could Dude, I want to fucking make that. That'd be so cool. Like, that'd be such a cool idea. Like, there's like a couple like great game ideas that I want to make. Like, I want to make that. I want to make the game with like a fuck ton of choices, but
yeah. Like a fucking Monster Prom. Monster Prom is one of those games.
Oh, yeah.
All them choices lead to something, bro. It's fucking amazing the amount of endings Monster Prom has. You ever played that game before? Go play that game right fucking now. With friends. At least one friend. That shit is funny as fuck.
It is insane. Like, they have like 300 different, they have so many different random events you can encounter. It's insane.
In Monster Prom 1, I think it's 800 events. Like, every dialogue, options, all that shit. There's like 800 of those.
Yeah.
And there's a shit ton of endings too, like 40 endings or some shit. And in Monster Camp, there's I think there's more now. I know it started out with 24, if I believe.
They added
no,
more.
I think it's 30. Yeah, they added more, and they also have the secondary characters, but they don't really do much. That you can play as.
Yeah.
But just choices in games have always been like a plus for me because it's more immersive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying linear games aren't good. Linear games can be amazing because they have a story they want to tell, and they know how it's going to tell, and you're along for the ride.
Yeah.
And you can enjoy that. I enjoy that too. Like, you know, Halo's a linear game. I enjoy those fucking stories. But I think overall, I don't want to get rid of linear games, but I think people should try to tackle choice games more in an innovative way than just having simple options. And it'd be hard to do, and it'd take really fucking long. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Especially if it's an indie team, that shit would take forever. But I think if they did it right, and when it came out, it would all pay off.
One thing I want to say real quick, because we talked about Persona. This is my opinion. It's not a fact, but there's a bunch of Persona projects that are coming out, and the last one is fall of 2022. And I believe that's when they're going to announce Persona 6. I feel like that's probably when it's going to be.
Probably. I think late next year is when Persona 6 is going to come out. And I am intrigued. Because I'm going to be real with you guys. Atlus ain't the golden boy company.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
They're really not. And Persona 6, I think, needs to be a bit more different. Because Persona 5 fucking blew up. That shit blew up.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be very, very hard to top 5.
And since it blew up, people... Because, you know, these people, Persona 5 is their first Persona game. Persona 5 was my first Persona game.
Yeah.
And when they get to 6, they might either be like, yo, this is worse than 5, because they like 5 characters more. Or they're like, this plays just like 5. Because Persona gameplay has never shifted drastically. It's had its format.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they should shift that, but I think they should expand upon it for 6. And they definitely need to expand upon their confidant system. I want more of it because it's good. It's really good, but there's way more ways to make the relationship feel more in depth and real.
Yeah, instead of just a linear thing that branches 9 times. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that.
Here's what I would want. I would want, like, every confidant can go, like, 3 ways. Like I was talking about. They're neutral. You just keep them normal, right?
Yeah.
You get there and somehow you got to the max level confidant and you haven't lost the true personas, but you don't have their max friendship. Then you got the true one where you like beef up their friendship. You are best friends with this dude.
Or dating,
or you start dating them.
Yeah.
And then you expand on dating more too. I would like more additions to that, especially in the dialogue.
Yeah, dating sucks, dude.
Because
there's no reason to.
They really need to do more on that. And then I want the fucking shadow route, I would just call it, where you can just fucking make them feel miserable.
Like, yeah, you would feel like a terrible human being, but it'd be really cool. You'd just be super evil.
Like, it'd be cool, even if, like, you just push all of them away, and now you've made the game. I think it would be like... It'd be like a power trip, okay, how I'd see it. Because I think you would go into these missions, and you wouldn't have any friends with you. And instead of the friends, you'd have these special personas that come from completely ruining your relationship with them. And they would replace your party members. Sort of like SMT.
Oh, yeah. We could summon demons.
And these special personas, talk to you, and they feed into your negativity. And that's how I would want it to go.
And then
I think that'd
be cool.
Dude.
At the end of the game, you're just, like, completely irrational. You're just, like, a shadow, and you're just, like, fucking killing people and shit. Like, you're just completely insane.
Yeah. Maybe you fucking absorb the classic god persona you come up with, and you become a fucking just monster of horrid shit.
Yeah.
That would be... I think that'd be actually amazing.
Atlus has to hire us.
Would love that shit. Atlus should hire us for fucking
great
ideas, bro. Because I know that shit would take a while. Because I know if they're working on Persona 6 yet, because I don't think they are.
No.
I don't think they've started development yet. So they still got time. They need to take this into consideration, bro. Because if they did this, I honestly think that could make Persona 6 the best Persona. Because then you have completely different ways the shit can play out.
And New Game Plus is more, because, like, New Game Plus in Persona 5 is, like, it's integrated there. You want to do it since, like, with, like, like, you can't do her because her charm is, like, fucking 4 or whatever. So you can't even do her. You gotta wait till New Game Plus, pretty much. But then if there's the New Game Plus with, like, the evil routes, then you could do different confidants, and you could do different things with the confidants.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I never really felt like doing New Game Plus. I was never into it, because at the end of the day, I was going to get extra stuff, but nothing different.
I was just a super nerd, and I platinumed it, and wasted
you did.
Like 300 hours.
I could not do that, and I definitely could not replay fucking Royal.
I probably will soon, but...
I would have replayed Royal if by completing the game they let you access Kasumi way earlier. I think that would have been neat.
That would be cool.
But they don't.
Kasumi's pretty lame.
So, yeah. I'll say Kasumi, I like her character. I do. But she serves no real purpose. Except for showcasing the new villain.
Which all isn't canon because that's cool.
Spoilers for Persona 4.
Because I honestly think the
Not sure if we mentioned
end
earlier. Any spoilers?
Is a much better
here you go now.
Into the Persona 5 than
the
original. I like Maruki as a villain. I like him because he's one of those classic I'm doing this for the good of humanity villain. Like, and the thing about what Maruki does compared to like Shido's, he's not even hurting people. He's taking away, like, wasn't he taking away like their free will like putting them like their idealized version of themselves.
Yeah, basically he was like, "Oh, you want to be a track star? You are now a track star, and you can't choose what you're gonna do because you're that."
He was rewriting reality to fit what he saw as the person's what they wanted.
It was actualization. That's what he said.
Yeah, to be the pinnacle, the best that they can be.
Yeah.
And then there's they didn't really talk about it too much. You know, it was a little bit there, but like, is this really the best thing? Because like all their lives were really good because of him. You know.
The thing was.
And.
Yeah.
No, you can continue. I don't know where I'm going.
Cause like, I think what he did, like, I don't like. It's not like one or the other. Like, I feel like it's like maybe it's kind of good in a way, but it's also kind of bad. So like. I thought it was kind of cool because, like, I thought he would have been, like, super evil and he would have done, like, some crazy shit. But nah, he was just, like, doing his own thing. So it was, like, you know, you could see him and, like, he got his own way. He's kind of right, but in the end, it's like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't be super controlative of people. It's interesting. Because all the other villains, like, there was definitely, it was just like, oh, yeah, they're bad. Like, no way in hell, they're bad.
And then when you beat them up, they start talking about their self-pity. Like, oh, well, this bad happened to me and stuff. And it's like, you know. Another thing that they did sort of pretty good in Persona 5 with the villains that I want them to do more of. I want, if they keep the Palace villains stuff, they probably won't. Because Persona 5, that whole shit was Persona 5 thing. But like,
yeah, Palaces aren't going to be back.
I want more of the villains to see what they're like. And some of them can be like just wholly, just straight up fucked up people.
Mm-hmm.
But I want more nuanced villains like Maruki as a stuff, you know, complex. You know, because you can have a complex villain and he can be evil as shit. Alright?
Yeah.
He could fucking enjoy beating the living hell out of orphans.
Okay.
And if you write good, you can make him a complex and interesting villain. Like Thanos from Infinity War is a good villain. And not just any good villain, but they gave him the most screen time because you need to know him.
Yeah.
And some games don't let you get to know your villain. They show an evil thing that they do. Maybe like you get to a town, you see them blowing up fucking civilians, and then that's it. That's all you see of them doing heinous shit. And then they beat the fuck out of them. And then maybe at the end they start, well, this is why I was doing it. Okay. Show me more of a villain, not constantly being a villain. Unless you want him to be literally pure evil. Because some people will do a villain and then try to justify why they're evil, but then have them do all this terrible shit, and they only justify it at the end.
But to support what you're saying about like the not constantly doing evil shit, in Persona 5 they did exactly what you're talking about. In certain arcs, like you could in Persona 5 Royal you could check the cutscenes, and in certain arcs there would be 1 or 2 cutscenes, and then in like the arcs that they actually cared about, they'd have like 6 cutscenes. Like in Futaba's, I'm pretty sure that was more cutscenes, and then I'm pretty sure in like Makoto's, it had like 2. It was like the beginning and the end, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, there's nothing in the middle. It's just like, yeah, Kanashiro, bad guy, fat pig, mafia man.
Yeah, like, you know, if you're gonna, I say go big or go home. Go all out on your villains, because I mean, at the end of the day, for Persona 5, those Palace villains were the showcase because that's who you're dealing with. And there's not a shit ton of them. There's like 6? Kamoshida.
No, there's more than 6. There's 7. It's the
Madarame.
7 deadly sins.
Yeah, there's 7. And then in fucking Royal, there's 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't have a lot of villains like some games might have. Some games might have like 15, 16 villains, so they can't expand on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're already a pretty long RPG. I think the game of Persona 5 was good enough for them to give more screen time to the villains. Because some people say, oh, then the game might be too long. I don't know, man. People spend like over 100 hours. Like, somebody we know said it took them like 120 hours just to beat Persona 5.
That's a pretty long game. It took me like, I think probably like 110 something.
It only took me 80.
Damn. Well, I had to do a lot of grinding. No, the grinding wasn't it. I guess I just did a lot of confidant stuff. I don't know, but that took a lot.
That's the thing. I didn't do a lot of confidants. I only maxed out like 3 of them.
Oh, for real.
Because I was doing the stat stuff, sort of, and most of them were late. Like, I got the charm up for on really late, and I didn't even get the max intelligence from Makoto.
Yeah, so I didn't really know how to do it either. Like, I finished only one confidant my first run. It was Takemi, but all the other confidants I just had in like the middle, like 5 or 6. But I know the strat now since I've played a lot of Persona games. The strat is first run, max out those stats, and you could still get some confidants done, but you want to really focus on the stats. That's at least how I like to do it. And then if you are so fucked to do it, you can New Game Plus and, then you can just bang them all out. But I played Persona 3 and I maxed out a lot of confidants and I maxed out all my stats. Although in Persona 3, I think there's only like 3 or 4 stats instead of 5.
On my first run for Persona 5, I maxed out Ryuji. That was the first one I did. And then from the beginning, from the moment I bought that game, I wanted to date Futaba. So my focus was getting I think, was it Charm?
It might have been Charm, because you had to
I think it was Charm up to 4. It was one of the sets up to 4. So my main focus from that point onward was doing a little bit of confidence here and there when I can, but I would just ham fist Charm. And then I didn't realize until later that Futaba was like near the end of the middle of the game.
The middle.
So I wasted all the time building up that one shit to max instead of spinning it with confidence and shit. And so by the time I started doing other people than Futaba's shit game, and then of course I focused on doing her shit. And then at the end, I got a good chunk of people with like 6 and 7.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's also in Persona. Yeah, it was in Persona 5 as well. I never even found Shogi Girl.
Yeah,
so I could never change out my party and shit.
Very key. Like, the thing that, like, certain confidants, like, they were optional, but she was pretty mandatory.
Yeah, she made the fucking RPG play like a full-on RPG.
Yeah. And she had a lot of other cool shit.
Yeah, really, really good shit. And it's just... Yeah, so that was my first run of Persona 5. Not the greatest, but I beat it, and I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Ooh. There's one more thing I want to talk about. Today.
Yes, sir.
Some of y'all might not want to hear this. I'm just gonna say it. I don't want to. It's not really political. I don't give a shit too much about that.
Yeah.
It's just a way. But I'm saying, y'all might not want to hear this. But I mean, this came to me because I watched this YouTube video, and it was because it was a fucking video about this documentary called The Principle.
The Principle.
Yeah, and it was basically about fucking the idea of the Earth being the center of the universe, and how that's. I'm just gonna say right now that's not true.
Obviously.
Okay. I'm not an astronaut, and you're gonna say, well, you can't go up there and see pictures. I think there's more than enough evidence to prove that the Earth is not the center of the solar system or the universe, and you should understand that.
Yeah.
But the dude was watching, so I thought at first it was just a space documentary debugging that shit, but it turns out it went deeper than that, and that the people making it are really shit people, okay, and they're traditional Catholics.
Ooh.
Do you know what that means?
They're probably racist.
It's a bit basically, but like they think of they are part of the teachings of the original Catholic Church, which was a piece of shit. There's no version of the original Catholic Church that was good. They were fucked.
Yeah, that shit was fucked up. With the Pope and all that.
And the shit went to, fucking hating Jews, blaming Jews for Christ's death.
Yep.
And the people like that, they're like that as well. And they keep that because, the Vatican had this fucking council and it got called Vatican II, where they basically reworked their rules and system, and they started talking about how, maybe we shouldn't say that Jews are wholly evil. And do you want to know when they decided to start thinking like that?
I'm gonna say this might be way too off, like 1800s.
You are way too early. They didn't think like that until 1962.
God damn.
That's when the Second Vatican Council was. So, yeah, think about that. It's been less than 100 years than the Catholic Church has decided to just publicly say, yo, you guys should probably not hate Jews.
It's been like 50, 60 years?
It's been like 60, 65.
But makes sense why so many people hate Jews.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the same with, people they don't like black people still, because, the civil rights movement didn't fucking fully kick in until the 60s as well. All this shit
insane.
Is new. And I was like, I'm trying to think on how people can think like this, okay? Because I'm not a very religious person, but I understand that the idea of God is supposed to be an omnibenevolent, omnipotent being. That means he's caring to everything, okay?
Yeah.
So, and I did like this with my mom. And I was like, how do these people think that if Jesus would have come back one day and come here, and he would have looked at all what you guys think, okay, how would he then congratulate you for beating the fuck out of somebody because they're a Jew? Do you really think Jesus Christ would appreciate you doing that because of what he is? Alright? And they also do the same shit with black people. Some slave owners actually would rework the Bible and say that God made black people to be slaves specifically, and that they were not even fully human.
Wow.
And they made false scientific evidence saying that black people had different skulls than white people. Yes, this is real. They had false fucking scientific evidence, basically pseudoscience, saying that black people were subhuman.
What the fuck?
And they began using stuff like this to justify what they did. And I don't understand how your brain can jump to that point based off of the teachings of the Bible. Of love thy neighbor and shit like that.
Yeah,
okay?
Like it's like peaceful shit. Like don't be an asshole. Don't like recklessly hurt people. And then you have people just fucking people up because you look different than me, or you were born somewhere else than me. You believe in a different shit. It's like, man, what the fuck's wrong with you?
And then I got further than that, and I started getting pissed off at the fact that racist people aren't openly racist anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I told my mom, I wish that we would have racists like from the 1960s where they just go on the fucking news and start talking about how they fucking hate black people. Alright? I want to call them N-words and shit, okay?
Yeah, no.
Coming from me, a black person, I would really appreciate if racists were just honest. If you're going to be a racist president and you're running up there, I want you to tell them how much you hate that race, okay? Be honest, because, you'll still get supporters. They'll still be there. And you know what? Maybe they'll be happy that you're just being openly and honest. Because I'm tired of them being fucking pussies,
Yeah.
Own up to your fucking terrible fucking ideas. Own up to it.
They definitely should, but, the reason why I feel it's just because, definitely, with the 2000s, and I'd say, the later 2000s, 2008 or and on and whatever. I'm not sure the exact years, but, the later 2000s, people are getting a lot less racist because, as kids going to school and shit, and they're, intermingling with, black, because black kids are in white schools, and it's all mixed. So, and, me, you, we all grew up oh, they're no different than me. They just look different. But back then, it's harder. Way different.
Yeah, back then it was way easier because shit was segregated.
Yeah.
Now it's much harder to get your kid to say, yeah, that black dude over there is worse than you, or that Hispanic dude or Asian, because now you're going to school But these racist kids still exist, but they're getting less and less over time because it's not how the world works anymore. And yet, still, some people wish that it was how they wanted to go back to that times. And I'm like, just fucking say it. Okay. Because I would rather you be an honest racist than a deceptive one.
Can you please be honest with me, Mr. Racist?
Alright. You know, because, I mean, it's just like fucking having honest friends, okay? This is a bit weird, but I mean, like, I would rather somebody tell it straight to my face.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like you, alright? You know, I don't want somebody who's hanging around me pretending to like me. Just like I don't want somebody who fucking hates me because of the way I look to go around and say, I don't hate you. And then they give fucking excuses. To be like, well, it's because they do this. It's because they do that. It's not because of their skin color. I think it's odd that you only give these excuses for this one person because of his one skin color.
Oh, I hate when people are just like, them. Oh, black. Like, I hear this a lot. Like, black people are just more rowdier. They're more like, you know, they're more bound to steal or be dickheads. And it's like, just because you've had a run-in with a couple black people that are dickheads, like, there's plenty of white people that are dickheads, rapists, murderers. Like, it's not exclusive to a race. There's Asian people that are murderers. There's fucking Guatemalan. Like, every race you could look at, somebody there has done some dumb shit. Like, it's not exclusive to any race.
There's no exceptions. And I'll be like, oh, you know. And certainly some, you know, black people because I would know, I come from it too. They come from rough areas and neighborhoods and shit, you know, the ghetto and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it's not their fault because of that's the place they were placed in, you know.
Yeah.
Stuff like white flight and shit like that, and the real estate owners deteriorating the land to make it to where people don't want to move there, and thus that shit is poor, you know, and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fucking crazy. And I think what's crazy is that you could probably make a book out of excuses they've given in just the last 10 years to say that they're not racist.
Oh, yeah.
And you can just title it, I'm not racist, because, and then fucking list all the reasons that they've given. Fucking sell that shit, monetize it, turn it into a movie, a music video.
Yo. A 50-minute music video.
But I was, because I don't think America itself can ever truly be not racist. I think, because, you know, there's systematic racism and stuff like that. But I think, going off of that, I think it's just rooted in the culture of America, you know?
Definitely born with racism. But I think that further that, I don't think the world will ever be free from racism. Or at least not in like, at least 200 years, my opinion.
It would take...
No, longer than that.
I say this wholeheartedly. It would take a literal alien invasion, because then everybody could have something else to hate.
Yeah, we all be racist towards aliens instead of, like, black people.
Or fucking robots or shit. They need... Because they don't give a shit about global warming. They're not going to unite because of shit like that.
Yeah,
you know, hurricanes, shit. Hell, they'll probably still be racist if robots try to take over the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, you know... But if some motherfuckers come from outer space and land down here, bro, I guarantee... That's probably why if aliens have visited, they ain't say shit. Because they know.
They know they gonna get some smoke.
But if there's aliens out there, bro. Alien females, you know, hit up my line. I'm just saying. I'm not xenophobic, okay? I accept all interstellar creatures. Except the ugly ones.
Yeah. I can't say I'm completely... I don't know. I guess it depends if, like, aliens are, like, super evil just normally, but I don't think they would be.
There's a thing about that. I forgot who was talking about it. It might have been Stephen Hawking, but don't frankly say, don't take my word for that. But someone's talking about how perhaps we haven't noticed any aliens because the cost of intelligence like ours is inherent violence, like war and death like that.
Yeah.
And it's inevitable that an intelligent race will destroy itself. And I can understand how some people can get to that, but when it comes to like world issues like that, I think I'm much more optimistic. Because I think despite everything that's happened, we've come so close to shit that could just ruin the world, you know? And I think we've come too far. And the things that we can do, nothing else can do. Maybe not now, but in the future, we can 100% travel to other stars. I mean, we technically can now. It'll take for fucking ever. Yeah. But I bet we could build a massive station to live on and travel through space with and hit another planet eventually, you know?
Or if we had, like, some cryo system, then it'd be very possible.
Yeah. You know, I used to fucking hate the fact that Jeff Bezos went to space. I still kind of do.
I don't like Jeff Bezos.
I would never really do that. But I started thinking on it, okay? And because of him and those other fucking billionaires, people started thinking about space flight again.
Mm-hmm.
And going up there. And if there's anybody who can pay for shit like that, it's Jeff Bezos.
That's true.
I mean, I just want, even if I can't see it, I want people to know that in the future, you know, maybe our descendants, you know, will be landing on fucking Mars or be out of the solar system. Can you imagine that shit?
That'd be really
weird.
It's
crazy. And what's crazy is it's possible. Another thing I found out is I was talking about how, you know, eventually we have to leave because the sun will expand and then the Earth is gone.
I mean, we won't have to, but other humans, the future humans will.
The future humans will have to ditch this planet. They have to. So, you know, that's mandatory if they want humanity to survive.
Yeah.
But somehow, 600 million years from now, the Earth, it's more like 1 billion years from now, the Earth will, the sun will heat up and the Earth's oceans will actually dry up. So life will die much quicker than before the sun can swallow the planet, unless. But they also, some scientists that have talked about making like deflector shields and shit, like how they use on Earth to artificially block out some extra sunlight. And I was like, it's fucking crazy that we can already think up concepts like that that would work. And how it's insane.
I got some
do
you think, well actually, no, I think this is a statement. I do not think humans will live for another billion years. I don't even know if we'll live for another 10,000 years without destroying the planet.
I think, I can't say for sure, but if there's one thing I know about future generations, that most of them understand the importance of being together rather than apart. But the world itself is held in the hands of like 20 people. U.S. president, China's president, shit. They
Russia.
have the ability to end the world.
Oh yeah, big time.
And that's probably the one most horrible thing that's ever happened. Because never before in the history of humankind have we been in the point where, you know, some shit goes down, then we're all gone.
Well, I think the real problem is when we invented nukes. That was the big ass problem.
That's what I used to think, but then I started watching some more documentaries on it, and it turns out, listen, like with the amount of bunkers and shit like that, it is practically impossible to drive the human race to extinction. The probability of there being some survivors is insane. Out of anything, bio weapons, fucking nukes, asteroids coming down, shit like that. The planet would have to basically explode to get rid of us.
Even then, I'm sure there'd be one little straggler. There's a little space pod.
If we can find out that shit like that's going to happen, I 100% believe we can find a way to get the fuck out of here. At least some of us will. A good chunk could make it off. You know, because it only takes 1,000 people.
Yeah, it'd be a small chunk.
For humanity to fucking survive.
I think we'd
less than that. As long as you just have a group of
100.
50. 100. You just need more people from different gene pools. I say you could probably go as low as 25, maybe 20 of random people to get out there. And if they have a place to go, they have the resources, the human race can propagate again. So I don't think we're gonna go extinct. I don't think we're gonna destroy ourselves. Because even now I have faith that no one's dumb enough to push that big red button.
Hopefully.
But I do think there's
a chance.
I think a war might happen.
A war?
I don't think it'll be anytime soon. But the ideals of the world in some countries don't coincide. You know, shit like what's happening in China, with still having concentration camps. Shit in America, still prevalent. The world is supposed to be in an age of peace and equality. But a lot of people still hold on to the values of separation of the old days. And we're reaching the point where we either have to come together or die. That's how it is. So, and the worst part is, it's people like you and me can't really change much. We don't have the power.
Yeah.
That's not to say we can't get the power. It's just very unlikely to do that.
Highly unlikely. Like, highly, highly unlikely.
But, if a movement happens, you start making moves and stuff, like protests and shit like that. Because, I think at this point, I can, if there's a protest happening, I'd probably participate in it. Because I'm at a decent age where I think I could do that on my own. And if it's something I believed in, I'd like to show I could. Because it's moments like those where people like you and me do have the power.
Yeah.
It's a worrisome thing to think about, but right now we have to think small right now, you and me, Can we make it to have long and fulfilling lives?
Yeah, that's a great question. Very good question. Not sure.
Because I think that's what I'm most afraid of. Because tensions are definitely high, but just in our country alone, shit is so fucked.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just everywhere, really. Or a lot of major countries where it's just kind of fucked up.
And is it going to impede our lives? I hope not. But, major shit went down this year. In our country alone. So, we'll just have to see.
Yep.
After that heavy segment, I think that'll be all for today, folks. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad that you've been listening to this if you have. And I hope to hear from you guys next time. See ya.
See ya.